There are certain moments where a person will cry to try to control the situation. Those moments are when they want something from you and you're telling them no, or you are telling them that you recognize their toxic behavior, or you are standing up to them, or you said to them the following: no, or I'll think about it, or I'll get back to you, or I don't think that I'm going to be able to do that for you. In those situations, some people will cry just to control the situation. The reason why they are crying is that they are intending for you to feel guilty and back away from addressing their toxic behavior. They want you to feel bad. They want you to feel guilty. I want you to understand that this is a form of manipulation. Crying to control the situation is a form of manipulation. Whenever a person cries when you tell them no, or when you say, I'll get back to you on that, or when you say, I'll think about it, or when you tell them that they have done something that was not okay or inappropriate and you call them out on it, and they choose to cry, they are using those tears as a way to control the situation. This person is an actress and a master manipulator. So how do you handle it? What do you do? What do you do when you're in situations where a person cries to try to control the situation? How do you handle it? This is what you do. The first thing that you do is understand that they are trying to manipulate you. Because when you think about the times that you're sad, you try to hold those tears back. But if this person is putting on a performance, if this person is pulling out all of the stops to be super dramatic and they are intense in their tears and they're crying and all of those things, yes, that is all a performance. I need you to know that it is an act. It is a performance and they are trying to manipulate you. So the first thing is understanding that this person is trying to control you. And the final thing, I want you to say this to them. Begin quote. We will revisit this conversation after you gather yourself. End quote. We will revisit this conversation after you gather yourself. And boldly and unapologetically and immediately walk away. And if they try to stop you, say, no, 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 we will revisit this after you have gathered yourself. And under no circumstances do you allow them to stop you from walking away. You may be listening to me and you might be thinking to yourself, that is very harsh. What's harsh is the fact that this person is trying to control the situation by manipulating you. What's harsh is that this person is trying to make you feel guilty even though they did inappropriate behavior. What is harsh is the fact that they won't accept the fact that you said no, or that you are standing up for yourself, or you are setting boundaries. And instead of them accepting that, they're going to try to be sinister and make the choice to try to control your emotions. And they are trying to control your emotions by making you feel bad or guilty. What is harsh is their perspective, which is you don't get to set boundaries. And if you try to set boundaries, I am going to make you feel awful. What is harsh is that their selfishness causes them to feel that they should have more control over your emotions than you. That is what is harsh. You should never feel guilty for saying no, creating boundaries, or standing up for yourself. You should never feel guilty about doing any of those things. Do not let people play with you. Do not let people manipulate you, because that is what it is. Saying, we will revisit this conversation after you gather yourself, what that does is it lets the person know you are not going to do this. Second of all, we are going to have this conversation. Third, when we have it, I need you calm. That is what that says when you say to people, we will revisit this conversation after you gather yourself. And the beautiful thing about saying that is that you are not letting them off of the hook. You are revisiting the conversation. And understand that when they come back to the conversation, they are going to try to find other ways to manipulate you. I want you to stay focused on the topic. Do not let them drift and talk about other things that are not the subject matter. Make sure that you stay focused in the conversation. And there's nothing wrong with saying to them, that's not what we're talking about. Let's deal with one subject matter at a time. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There is going to be some pushback because this person has created a pattern and they have been following this pattern throughout their life. They have been crying to control the situation forever. And people typically fall victim to it. People typically feel bad and they give in to their foolishness. But not you. Next time somebody tries to cry to control the situation, don't go, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Don't do that. Don't do any of that. Don't apologize. Boldly look them in their eyes and say, "We will revisit this conversation after you gather yourself." And when you say that to them, you are also teaching them you must be calm and in control of your emotions when you're talking to me. And after you have said this to them and you start a new pattern of saying this to them every time they do that, they will stop doing that to you. And if they want to walk away saying you're not a nice person, you're this and you're that, I want you to understand that it does not matter what a toxic person thinks of you. This is just part 1. Make sure you look out for part 2. Part 2 is going to be how to handle it after you have revisited the conversation and they try crying again or they try other methods to control you. That's going to be part 2. Thank you so much for your support. I'm so grateful for you listening to this. I am very, very, very grateful for the support. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and please subscribe.